Hello. So in this video, I've been trying to film this video for almost close to a year now, which is crazy, but I've just never gotten the opportunity to film this. But basically this is gonna be my experience working at Chipotle. So I worked at Chipotle for about 2 months or 2.5 months during the summer of 2020. So the pandemic was in like full force and I got my job at Chipotle then. And the location I was working at was in New Hampshire, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't want to say any specific details because yeah. And I'm not working there right now. I quit my job because first off, I didn't like it, and second off, I couldn't commute there anyways because of university, and I'm a full-time student. So I wanted to show you guys, so this is sort of my proof. I did work at Chipotle. I have the shirt. So when you get hired, you get 2 shirts. You have to wear it every shift, and then a hat. And because I shaved my head like a month or 2 months before I started my job at Chipotle, I think it was even closer than that, but it was probably around that time frame, I really didn't have to wear a ponytail because my hair is still very short, and just put the hat on and then you're good. Like nothing different there. But for, you know, girls who have longer hair or just people who have longer hair, you have to put your hair in a ponytail or bun, and you have to wear your hat at all times. And yeah, so my experience working there was not great, to be honest. I was only there for a short time, and how I got hired was literally on the spot. And when you get hired on the spot, I've learned since now that that's a very bad sign if you get hired on the spot. Like, yeah, it's great because you have a job now, and you know, it's great, you have a job, whatever. But if people hire you on the spot, that means they're very desperate, and just the people going through that location or that company, just like people come and leave so fast. It's like literally a revolving door in the place that I worked at least. Because when I left, like 5 or more people were already leaving. And not just like staff employees like me, like a manager left, and it was just bad. Like that whole situation, she left and just didn't come into one shift. Just the whole situation there was bad. So I guess, yeah, so starting from, you know, the interview process, I was like happy I got the job, and I think they asked me only like 3 or 4 questions on like what, like, I don't know, why do you want to work for Chipotle? And I honestly just said some like bullshit answer like, I love the food, and like I really don't love the food, to be honest. Like, you do, the one plus working for Chipotle is that you do get free food, and for lunch or whatever, your break, you get to make your own food and then you get to eat it. But the one catch is you can't really leave with the food, and I feel like with different, I've heard for different videos, like some locations are more strict on this, and mine wasn't really strict, so you could for me, I would eat my food. I started eating my food like in the dining area, but it was so small and like, I started bringing my food to my car, and like people, they were fine with that. Even though it like technically was against the rules, and sometimes you would have to do, like the rules were you have to do a comp, I forget what it was called. It was like an employee comp. So if you had a meal, you would have to comp it, and then the manager would have to sign it at the end of the day. And yeah, I think technically my role was just a crew member, and I was mostly on cash, but they never really taught me how to like count the cash register, so, and they never really assigned me as like a cashier. Like I would always be using someone else's like cash card to like use the drawer, which is like definitely not allowed. But yeah, I did learn how to do cash, and I didn't like it that much. But yeah, so a crew member, basically like you could be put on cash, you could be put on the line, and just thinking about it brings me back to like not a good place, because I really did not like my job there, and the people there were not great. Like my first few days, like people would just low-key like ignore me and just not be friendly at all, and just not a great environment to work in. Definitely like if you have a friend there or you know someone, it would definitely be better, and it was better for me. After a while I got used to working there, and people became more friendly, but like initially people just aren't friendly at jobs like that, and it's like not the best. But I did make one friend there who I really liked, and she was very nice to me, and yeah, and it was good to actually have like one person I like to work with. Because I know some people work, you know, these food service jobs, and they just are totally alone and don't have anyone, and that just really sucks. And I think when you have someone, it makes the whole experience a little bit better. So that was the one redeeming thing that was good at Chipotle, and the free food. But yeah, what else? More about the people. A lot of them were like young. So for reference, I'm like a 21-year-old, and a lot of them were like younger guys, like 16 or 17 years old. So it's obviously just like a maturity thing, and then it's just like they're like teenage boys, so it's like, what are you gonna do? Nothing really with that. And obviously like some of them can be super mature and nice, but like the majority are not. And like there was one instance where this one guy, I disliked him very much, and I would like straight up ignore him, and he would ignore me, which was fine, because we both knew we were just not we were just not it for each other. He was like, hey, can you bag this like a little bit faster? And I was like, and there were tons of people coming through, like tons, and I was like, I'm just doing the best I can like at the moment. And like I guess he didn't take that the way I said that very well or something, because of like a few weeks later, probably when I was about to leave, I heard from a few other coworkers that were talking to him that he was like, oh, Mira doesn't really like me that much. And I was like, no shit, I literally hated this kid. Like he was the rudest kid, honestly. To me, pretty much. And I mean, I wasn't the best back to him, but you know, I'm just gonna tell it out how it is and, you know, not be loud and obnoxious, because he was the type of kid who, you know, there was like, maybe there wasn't anyone in the store, but he would like scream and like just like spout like stupid shit that no one needed to hear and no one wanted to hear. So yeah, that's my little rant on him. But I don't know, beside the people who weren't great, the way the store was managed was definitely messy. Like, you could just tell a lot of the rules were not being followed, including like, so for food service workers, you have to wear these like non-slip shoes. And when I was there, that was never enforced. Never. And I think right when I was leaving, like the head manager person sent a message that you have to buy shoes like this, because they were like cracking down on some of the rules like right after I left. So I don't know, maybe they did change some parts of that store, but a lot of rules just weren't being followed, and like, I don't know, just thinking about it is not great for me, because I literally would dread going to work sometimes, and I would just ugh. And the pay too was literally $12 an hour. Like, that is shit. And the most ridiculous thing too is the girl I was friends with, she was getting 11 because she didn't ask for 12. So during your interview, ask for more. I wish I should have pushed for 13, because I was like, yeah, I would like 13, but I'm okay with 12. But I definitely should have pushed more for that. And if you do, they might give it to you. So, I mean, if you want to work at Chipotle, definitely ask that in your interview, because they might end up giving it to you. But I don't know what else. Also, for my shift times, I was a night worker, so I would rarely go in at the morning, which starts like super early, like 6. I'm not sure what exactly the times are, but I've heard it's like super early, like 6 or 5 a.m. Yeah, but I would usually come in at like 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. and then I think my store closed at 10, I believe. And then it's like an hour of cleanup, so sometimes more if people are just being shit and not working. So you would leave at maybe 11. And a lot of times I was with a few managers and people who stayed later, and they would clean up, and then after I did my work, I'd be done, so maybe I'd get out at like 10:30 or something, and that was fine with me. I was happy to leave early because I did not want to stay longer than I needed to. There was one instance where I did stay till very late at 12 a.m. and that was just a nightmare, because that was a deep clean day, which technically I think they're supposed to do a deep clean like every 2 weeks or something. That was not a thing at this Chipotle I worked at. I do not know if they did a deep clean that often. They probably did not, because yeah, but that was literally a nightmare. And the manager who was working, she said she'd be there at like You stay there till like 1 or 2 a.m. just cleaning, and like that is a job. Like no one should be doing that late. That's ridiculous. Like just can't even fathom that. But she was actually the manager that quit when I was there, and she just got so fed up with everyone. And one instance, I think it was like her last week or something, I was not there, but my friend told me she literally brought in shots, like Jello shots, at a workplace. I mean, it's fucking Chipotle, but anyways. And they all were taking shots. Like, and granted, some people were underage, like under 21, who were drinking alcohol. I don't know. It's just like a lot of the stuff that happened is so brushed under the rug, and like the amount of times people were vaping in the, what's it called, the I'm so far away from this experience that I've like lost all like the terminology. It's like the box, it's like the frozen box that the walk-in. So many people would vape in the walk-in, or like in my Chipotle, it was sort of laid out like, here's like the front area with the cash, and then sort of the dining area parallel, and then right on the back was like everything, and then the manager's room. So you couldn't see anything, obviously, and the bathrooms were connected to this hallway that connected to the back. And yeah, people would vape in the back and then vape in the walk-in. And honestly, it's just like such a mess. Like, I don't know. I'm not a vapor. I don't do that, and I would not like take a hit from someone, especially in COVID, because I don't know, when I was working there, like after cleanup or during cleanup, we would all take off our masks because wearing a mask all day is annoying, but obviously you have to because COVID. But yeah, at the end of the day, I definitely took off my mask because I was sick of it. But I always wear a mask, not saying I don't, of course I do. But also, some people that worked there did not wear their mask correctly, even when like interacting with customers, which was so bad. And like I would cringe so hard when like one of my coworkers, he used to like always wear his mask so his nose isn't covering, and I would just be like, oh no. And like literally a customer like said that to him, like, you're not wearing your mask correctly, and I was like, yeah, he's not. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. But yeah, overall the experience was a mess. And I don't know, like if you really like the food, I would say it could be good to work there if you have like a friend who you're close with who works there, or like you get hired together. Like that's probably the best situation, because working with people who do not understand that you want to go home is a struggle when you're a closer, definitely. Because like you're gonna go home when everything's done, and like that could take 1 hour, an hour and a half, 30 minutes, like whatever it takes for your group. But yeah, overall not a great experience for me, but I feel like I learned a lot about, food service and like how shit food service workers are treated, because the amount of stories I've had interacting with customers who are just like ridiculous is like appalling. And like, you need to understand if you're going into a fast food restaurant that like these people who are working there are not treated well. They're like literally for my break time, like sometimes my manager would send me to break right when I got into the store, which is so bad, especially if you're working like for a 4 to close. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how am I supposed to not be hungry at like 8 p.m. when you sent me to break at 4? Like, that is just something that I've heard people in different locations that Chipotle does, like, overall, and that's just horrible. Should never happen, should never happen. But yeah, that was my overall experience at Chipotle. Learned a lot, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything else, but if you have any questions about, you know, the interview process or like what the job is like as a crew member at Chipotle, like, you can let me know in the comments. I didn't work there for that long. I only worked there for like about 2 months, so I wouldn't say I know everything. I definitely do not know everything, because I never did any prep work with the food or anything like that the opening people do. The most I did was like bagging chips. And I was on the line, and I did roll like a few burritos. I wouldn't say I was good at it, but I did it. Yeah. But thanks for watching. Yeah, and I wanted to film this for so long, but I never got the chance to, so yeah. If you want to work at Chipotle, I would not recommend, but make sure you ask the wage you want, because if you don't, they will not. I don't know. There could be a chance that they'll give it to you, and you never want to pass up on that. Okay. Oh, also, I did want to mention this too, that I think I applied. Yeah, I did apply for Chipotle, but it wasn't at this location. It was like 2 years before, or a year and a half before I worked here. And I did get to the interview stage, but then they declined me, mostly because I didn't have any food service experience, and they probably weren't as desperate as the location I worked at to hire me like on the spot. Yeah, I was also a lot younger then, and like I said, I didn't have a lot of food service experience or like any really job experience in general. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. But if you have any questions, let me know, and goodbye.